Sound check, sound check, sound check. Okay, so me and Albert are on to our trip to China to inspect all of the different components that we're going to be releasing finally for the production of Flux and Valour watches. We have the Valour Lucent and the Flux Quadras. We've seen some of the components in pictures and videos, and now we're going to thoroughly test how they actually work. We've seen those new bracelet. There's some improvements on how they're finished and how they articulate. That's a very slight difference there. Clasp has an updated emblem on it. It's much more precisely finished, and there's a lot more variance compared to before. Now the hands, I am excited to see how the hands will turn out. I haven't seen them yet. There's no images of it, so I'm hoping to see how that looks and how it works with the dial. I pretty much have an idea of how it would look like, but it's different when you see it in the metal. Now for the Valour Lucent, we have an updated strap. The end link is going to be how I originally designed it to be. It has like those slight flares, and I'm excited also to see that. I wanted to see the updated rotor. There's a slight difference with this rotor, especially since we moved to the 9039 movement. Everything that I've shown before was the older um, rotor. Now it has a slightly different mounting variation there. There were some alignments on the sapphire crystal that needed to be addressed, and we had many meetings about that and how to do that, and we came up with some sort of tool, and now let's see how good that is in practice and how the production is affected by those tools, and hopefully we would see.
Security relies on the participation of everyone. At Logan, we call it safe. Be aware and report making a protocol of Massachusetts.
Wow, that's a very long public service announcement. I'm really excited to meet some of our friends again, as we're going to be discussing some of the new projects that we're coming up with, and hopefully, as the Lucents and the Quadras go out, it's going to continue the cycle, of production. We already commissioned 2 models for Valour, and hopefully for Flux, we get final approval for this next model. So stay tuned. The next time you'll see me, you'll probably see me in China.
After a long 14-hour flight, Albert and I met at Hong Kong, and then off we went to China. And I must say, it's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to, and I'm surprised that it's quite easy to actually get in there. We arrived early in the morning. We were welcomed by our production company, and from there, we went straight to work. We were greeted with the Quadras dials, which were one of the first components that are finished. These are one of the more crucial components of the watch, so it is very important for us to inspect them for consistencies and application. A lot of things can affect the appearance of these dials. The amount of paint that's being applied and even the crystal on top of it can make a big difference. The black dial underwent a little bit of a modification, as now you can see more of the texture underneath that coating. Initially, the amount of enamel applied on top of it was too much to our liking. Since we have some prototypes in hand, they tested them for water resistance and accuracy right in front of us. We were very happy that we went with the Le Jouperet G101, as it performed very well in accuracy. They tested the Quadras in many different positions, and it got great timing. Every one of these movements will be tested by the production team before they install it into the watch, something that they don't usually do. While we were there, the Valour Lucent was also tested to ensure that the water resistance really is up to par to its grading. It failed to crack the 100-meter mark, but it still surpassed its 50-meter water resistance rating. On the second day, our production company took us to their new offices. It's a new massive office space compared to what they have right now, and they practically occupy the whole floor of the building. Part of the assembly line of the watches will be in this same facility, making it easier for us to inspect our future watches. Now back to the current production facility, we are starting to get some of our components and it's time to start inspecting them while we wait for the others. This is the first time I'll be handling these new cases as these were upgraded since the prototypes that we had. These are now slightly thinner and have a threaded crown. We added more luminova on the etched crystal and we even had the opportunity to do that on the crown. In the afternoon, the new rotors arrived sporting their new larger mounting point for the 9039 movement. Okay, we're in the hotel right now, and while I'm waiting for our friends to pick us up, it's been an experience so far for the trip. We were able to discuss all of the other projects we have aside from the watches that we're going to inspect for this trip. It's much easier when we are actually able to talk face to face, even though there's still some translation issues as we can expect. There's still a lot of things that I needed to learn when it comes to manufacturing these parts, like how they mold and mill stuff, how certain materials tend to behave based on their experience and based on the equipment that they have. And the distances of these companies and how the logistics is a big part of the manufacturing process. And this is something that we have to continue to learn and to work with. And yeah, so if you guys, if there's any youngsters out there that are still in school, geography is a really big deal. So the more that you know about geography and where these components are coming from, at least in a manufacturing standpoint, the better you can plan the watches and how you design them. During this day, we went to 3 different factories. 2 of them we're already working with, and a new one that has the capability to manufacture luxury high-end cases. I learned a lot in that factory, and I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. Let's focus on the Valour and Flux watches. After a few hours in the case factory, we traveled to our strap manufacturer, which produces both the Quadras and Lucid straps. This is one of the cleanest factories I've ever been to, and they manufacture some really high quality straps for both microbrands and independents. I'm not allowed to take videos or pictures of them, but it's pretty cool that our straps are coming from the same manufacturer. I saw firsthand how they produce the Quadras FKM straps, and I was quite surprised that they actually measure and weigh each and every stick of FKM before they put it into the mold. From there, the metal inner body is inserted before the whole FKM is melted around it. After that, it goes through 3 stages of cleanup before it passes the final inspection. And that cleanup process also involves a lot of hand cutting and hand sanding. After that, we hit the road again and we went to our dial factory, which produces our Quadras dials. They specialize in dial making, and by the time we arrived, they practically finished all of the Quadras dials. They're also the ones that will assemble the indexes, which they will receive from a different manufacturer. And from here, this is where we encountered our first issue.
Yeah, this is wrong. You see here, this is number 1 here is right, but number 11 is wrong.
Correct. I got one of these.
Yeah, I think you need to teach them how that's supposed to work.
The 6 unique shapes of the Quadras indexes is proving to be a challenge for your typical Chinese assembly line. These not so typical indexes are great for enthusiasts, but could be a headache for those trying to assemble it. As much as my design is making their lives miserable, they vow to step up their assembly process. We arrived back at the hotel at around 11 p.m., which is about 15 hours after we left it in the morning. More than 7 hours of that was spent on the road, and definitely less than that will be spent resting till the next day. You know, life has a funny way of speaking to us, and at this point of the trip, it seems that it's telling us that not all things go according to plan.
And you notice the thickness of the strap? Well, we've reduced. What do you do with that?
you retake it.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, here we are. We have now received our production straps. We got every color, including the yellow one. Couple of notes of changes that we've made. This is our original prototype strap. We made a design detail at the top, and you see note the thickness of the strap here. Well, we made it thinner. This allows it to be a little more supple and a little more comfortable on the wrist.
We were really excited about these new straps, especially the new yellow Sunseeker model, and this is a definite upgrade compared to the previous prototype. It's a lot thinner, it's more bendable, and we didn't even know that these are hand-stitched straps, which makes it even more appealing for many collectors. That excitement carried through the rest of the day as we started to get more and more of the dials and we inspected them as they come in. At the fourth day of the trip, we were hoping to inspect full watches, but at this point, since many of the components are still being delivered, we had to make do with what we have and inspected the dials individually. Albert brought in his own equipment and it really helped in the review process. It actually worked as we found quite a few dials that didn't pass the quality control. The problem is that more than 30% of the dials were misaligned. That is an alarmingly high amount of failure rate for a seemingly simple dial. After careful troubleshooting, we identified that the central dial feet were slightly misaligned, causing the logo to appear off-center. Since the dial feet are hand-welded on the underside of the dial, even the smallest deviation during assembly can result in a noticeable misalignment. We were relieved to have enough units to fulfill the current orders, but it became clear that we would not be able to deliver on time. In the final day, we almost had all of the components for the Quadras, and that was kind of promising. And we started to assemble the watches. In this last day, we were able to install the new hands and dials on the older cases and bezels, and these are the models that Albert will use for the wind-up watch fair. It's nice to see that the more technically challenging aspect of the update is finally here, with the Quadras hands being longer and going over the logo, and this required some updating of the frames and the indexes as well. The new mid case is also updated and we're finally able to see that polished upper lug section, and this facet is not present in the prototypes and it really makes a big difference with the case and bracelet. It would have been a nice update for the Quadras and it would have been ready to go. However, we discovered a slight difference in color when it comes to the mid-case, bezel, and bracelet. Apparently, the case manufacturer used a blue tint when plating the case and bezel. And that was a mistake because they were instructed to use a clear formula, which is the same with the bracelet. It was a bummer that this would cause the delay of the Quadras, as this would have been prevented if we discovered this a lot earlier. Now, the solution is that we have to bring these cases and bezels to the bracelet factory, which applied the original clear coating on the bracelet in the first place. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong, but we're happy that we're able to improvise and find a really quick solution for the Quadras. Now, the Lucent though is a totally different proposition. On the final day, we were able to assemble the production Lucents and we're pleased to see the upgrades compared to the prototypes. It is noticeably thinner than before, with the new crown refining the overall profile. The new rotor introduces a subtle update while preserving the overall design. We also added a chamfer to the inner lug structure to ensure easier compatibility with a wider range of third-party straps. We were almost ready to go with the Lucid until we noticed something. Now, to some brands, this may be acceptable, but to us, this turned out to be one of the biggest mishaps and hurdles that we had to tackle during this late stage of the production.
It's a discovery of the color of the hands that was a little bit, put it that way.
Wait, it's working.
It's working now? So we're here at the Hong Kong International Airport. We're at the final leg of our inspection trip. I'm here with Albert, and we wanted to increase the luminous effect with the glow and how long it would last, but we didn't expect it to look like that much of a difference in colors. So we had an emergency meeting with our hand manufacturer, and we're going to go and do and redo these hands with BGW9. Even though it's going to cost us a week to go back to that, but that ensures the best quality for the Lucid. And with that, we would like to thank our suppliers and manufacturers. They were very accommodating to us. They were very patient. We understood that we're a little bit more demanding compared to others who approach them, but this is all for you. We want to ensure that we give you the best quality products, and they also wanted to convey um, their their purpose and their aspirations to give you the best quality watches that you would enjoy for a long, long time.
It's a long, bittersweet journey, and many of the things that we hoped for didn't go according to plan. But I think Albert can sum it up better than I could.
We understand delays are never ideal. However, these decisions will ensure that you will receive and reflect the levels of quality we set out to achieve from the very beginning. We're very close, and we're excited to share the final results with you soon. Thank you for your patience and continued support. I'll see you soon.
You're very tired.
And I'm very tired.